They bailed on my housewarming. Sister needs groceries. Mom confirmed. I just responded, no worries. Can you imagine spending your entire life feeling invisible to the very people who were supposed to love you most? My parents made that my bitter reality. But one night, the world watched as their decades of chilling indifference finally came crashing down on them. And trust me, they were not ready for the public spectacle. My name's Grace, and I'm 31 now, living here in Asheville, North Carolina. The Blue Ridge Mountains are like old friends, watching over everything, and the air always smells of pine and a million possibilities. It's a beautiful place, a far cry from the small town I grew up in, about 4 hours east. That was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone's business, where gossip flew faster than a wildfire through dry leaves. I was the firstborn, you know? And in my family, that didn't mean I was special. It meant I was the practice run. Just a warm-up act before my parents got the child they actually wanted. 3 years later, Brooke arrived, and from the moment she took her first breath, I effectively vanished. I don't say that with bitterness anymore, not really. It's just a quiet resignation, the kind you get after 3 decades of accepting a fundamental truth about where you stand in the world. Brooke was beautiful, truly. Delicate features, that porcelain skin that made strangers stop my mother on the street just to gush over her gorgeous baby. Me? I was plain. Bookish. Way too serious for a kid. While Brooke effortlessly charmed everyone she met, I buried myself in books. She collected friends and admirers like seashells on a beach, but I collected scholarships and academic awards. Awards my family never once bothered to acknowledge. So, when the housewarming party for my new home was approaching, I'd done everything right. I'd invited my parents a full 3 weeks in advance, giving them ample time. Sent them the address, detailed directions, even offered to pay for their gas. I suggested they stay overnight in one of the guest bedrooms, so they wouldn't have to drive back in the dark. My mother had given me that distracted, non-committal tone I knew so well, saying she'd think about it. My father? He hadn't bothered to respond at all, which was pretty typical of his complete disengagement from my life. Then, 6 hours before my first guests were due to arrive, the text message landed. Brooke needed groceries. My 28-year-old sister, who still lived at home with my parents, who had never held a job longer than 3 months, who, it seemed, couldn't tie her own shoelaces without their constant intervention, she needed groceries. And somehow, that mundane errand trumped my celebration, the purchase of my first home. I walked slowly through the house, my fingers trailing over the cool granite countertops, the custom woodwork I'd spent months meticulously selecting with my architect. This place, it sits on 12 acres of pristine mountain property, with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlook a valley, so full story video added in below.